The second has arrived, the Andromeda merger. The process has started. Scientists have now discovered a strange ring that could be the first sign of the merging of the two universes. The ring was discovered by novice astronomers almost by chance, and the scientists were astonished to find that this gigantic structure had been long neglected. This means, nothing more and nothing less, that the merger of the Milky Way and the Andromeda Galaxy began much earlier than expected. Things could soon become uncomfortable, as the first stars have already left Andromeda and are now approaching the Milky Way. The Andromeda Galaxy is rapidly approaching the Milky Way, and we've known this for a long time. Simulations have shown that the two will definitely crash into each other, and that this encounter will result in a gigantic merger. Examples such as the antennae galaxies show that galaxy collisions do not always lead to a full merger. Another galaxy brushed past it, but this did not result in a full merger, only in an interesting impact where both galaxies underwent significant changes. The striking antennae example was created by the influence of one galaxy passing through the other, dragging parts of the neighboring galaxy behind it like a tail. The encounter between the Milky Way and Andromeda will unfold differently. The two are on such a direct crash course that a single galaxy will form after the encounter. Milkomeda will be a gigantic galaxy that will be much larger than the current expansion of the Milky Way. Our Milky Way and the Andromeda Galaxy, the largest neighboring galaxy, are similar in size and diameter, although Andromeda is slightly larger. However, Andromeda contains far more stars than our home galaxy, and therefore is much brighter and thicker, with a completely different structure. A gigantic, very complex galaxy meeting a rather cottony one. The result will likely be a galaxy in the shape of a disk. We do not know yet if, and to what extent the spiral structures will be preserved, although we have simulations and have also found signs that the great merger of the two has already begun. We will not live to see the final result, as the merger will take billions of years. The corona of the Andromeda Galaxy has already collided with the corona of the Milky Way. We knew that the two universes would merge, but we didn't know when this would begin. Specialists estimate that it will happen in a few million or billion years, which makes it even more astonishing that the merger seems to have already begun. A few months ago, novice astronomers discovered a gigantic ring extending around the entire Andromeda Galaxy. This sensational discovery was made with a very simple telescope, costing just a few $100s. At first, the novice astronomers couldn't believe what they were seeing in the images of Andromeda, a corona that barely glowed and was visible only because the three discoverers had used a special filter to better highlight the gas of Andromeda. The Andromeda Galaxy is certainly one of the most photographed and studied objects in the universe, and none of the professional astronomers had ever seen this ring, even with telescopes worth billions of dollars. The exact nature of this ring has never been clarified, but what is known is that it is an unusual vapor of gas that actually cannot come from Andromeda itself, because this gas is virtually non-existent in the galaxy. Other research has shown that it might be part of the galaxy's radiation that had not been identified before. However, there is also an interesting theory that this ring could be the first sign of the gigantic merger of the two systems. Experiments have shown that the particular gaseous composition of the ring might be the result of the interaction of the radiation from the outer star rows of the two systems with intergalactic space. In fact, there is already a stupendous network of gas that extends almost halfway to the Milky Way. The exchange has certainly already begun. Data from the Hubble Space Telescope have also shown evidence that the radiations of the two cosmic systems are already in impact. One could call this the first friction and delicate rapprochement of the two universes. The timetable of the impact. The universes don't just meet to say hello or pass in front of each other. At least not from our point of view. Encounters between giants happen incredibly slowly and last millions, even billions of years. From the perspective of the galaxy, this might only be a moment, but from our point of view, these are epochs we can barely grasp with our minds. In about 3.75 billion years, the universes should experience their first union. The matter components of the two universes will then certainly crash into each other, radically changing the attraction of the stellar systems. The gravity of the two giants will trigger incredible changes within the two systems. This does not necessarily lead to annihilation and chaos. It's precisely because this union occurs so slowly that mergers between universes can also be very gentle for the most part. Overall, the merger looks like a dance that forms a unity from two partners. What is certain is that the forces the two exert on each other will nevertheless be extreme. The pressure and intense connections will lead to an extreme phase of star formation. The forces will cause a violent turn of the gas and dust reserves of both systems, which will result in the creation of new stars. That's why the number of stars after the merger will be much higher than if we only counted the estimated number of stars in the two systems. These processes will also significantly modify the structures within both systems. The dynamics will change significantly, and the sense of rotation of the cores and arms will shift. Over the next billion years, the cores of the systems will merge completely and form a large elliptical galaxy in the shape of a disk. This gigantic merger will also mean the merging of the two black holes at the center of the systems. In fact, they will attract each other so violently that they can be considered the true engines of the merger. It is difficult to imagine what will happen when two black holes of this size crash into each other. The forces at work here exceed our imagination. For millions of years, they will only dance around each other, probably emitting unimaginable amounts of matter and light, so intense that they will multiply the luminosity of the systems by 1,000. A galaxy merger from a starry point of view. Let's examine this event from the perspective of a stellar system. One might wonder if our Sun will still exist at that time. It will probably shine for another 4.5 billion years before it slowly explodes in a cosmic explosion. Therefore, it will witness the beginning of the merger. We are located in one of the outer spiral arms of the Milky Way, and we would probably be the first to notice the changes. The gravitational attraction of Andromeda would cause the stellar system to swirl, throwing planets out of their orbits and causing a complete reorganization. We know today, for example, that evolutionary processes within our own galaxy have caused our planets to shift positions several times. Jupiter has pushed Mercury closer to the Sun over millions and billions of years and could one day eject it from the solar system. Neptune is so strange that scientists think it either formed within the solar system or migrated from another star system. These are surprising changes that have occurred and are ongoing, but they are harmless compared to the changes that stellar systems and planets will undergo when two galaxies merge. It is conceivable that some small planets, or those with fragile compositions, will be destroyed, while others might start relocating. Solar systems could exchange planets, or stars might wander freely through the new galaxy without planets until they possibly bind other bodies to them. There would likely be a colorful mix that we can hardly imagine today. The chaos would last for billions of years, and then a new order would emerge. However, this is so far in the future that one might wonder if humans will still be around to witness it. The expansion of our universe is very likely ongoing, which means that space and the objects within it are constantly stretching. As a result, the distances between galaxies increase continuously, without the galaxies themselves playing any role in this movement. So, how is it that galaxies collide so violently if they are, in fact, being pushed apart by the expansion of the universe? The answer is straightforward. Although the universe is expanding, the approach of two galaxies is caused by gravitational attraction at relatively short distances. This gravitational force is much stronger than the effect of expansion. For example, the Andromeda Galaxy and the Milky Way are currently only about 3 million light-years apart, which is incredibly close in cosmic terms. These two galaxies have been near each other for a long time, and they are likely moving within the universe along invisible paths called fibers, which are the flow paths or roads of the universe. These fibers contribute to the collision in their own way. One could also argue that the two galaxies share the same trajectory and will inevitably meet somewhere in this cosmic web. In this chaotic mix, there are also two other galaxies: the Small and Large Magellanic Clouds, which are companion galaxies of the Milky Way and will slowly merge into it. However, the merging of these smaller galaxies is much less spectacular than the merger with Andromeda, which will result in the ejection of hypervelocity stars. Another fascinating sign of the impending collision is the existence of so-called hypervelocity stars. These stars travel through space at tremendous speeds, escaping the gravitational pull of their original galaxy. These stars may have been ejected from the Andromeda Galaxy due to interactions with supermassive black holes or through stellar explosions. They are now slowly moving towards the Milky Way. It will probably only be a matter of time before the first stars are ejected from the Milky Way and become part of the merged Andromeda Milky Way galaxy. The question is whether this could happen to our Sun. Researchers do not see it as a danger because, although we are located in a spiral arm of the Milky Way, we are not directly at the edge. Additionally, our spiral arm does not point directly toward the areas that will likely interact with Andromeda. However, it is not entirely ruled out that we might notice minor effects from the galaxy collision in the coming decades or centuries. We do not know if this could pose a danger to humanity, but if our star experiences significant pressure or if it disrupts the solar system, it could, of course, be deadly for the balance of the system, and Earth would experience severe changes. Subscribe now to receive more exciting videos.